Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to do a 7-day gold and silver recap. The last week, gold and silver both are down. What does that mean for the markets moving forward? How much did it go down? What's customer sentiment been like in the shop? There's a lot of things I'm going to talk about in today's video, but we will make it short and sweet. All the while we'll show off some new silver and gold items that came across the shop over the last couple of weeks as well. So we got a lot to talk about. Be sure to stick around. So I thought it was important that I do a 7-day gold and silver market update. I usually do these around the end of the month, and I do like what I like to call is a 30-day gold and silver market update. But I've talked about the silver and gold markets a few times during the month in videos, and a lot of the other YouTubers have as well. So I think it's kind of overdone. So I'm not going to bother going back 30 days. Instead, we'll just talk about the previous 7. Because if you've been following the gold and silver market, you are probably well aware that gold touched and crossed all-time highs several times over the past, really the past 2 months. But it has pulled back. Silver got awfully close to $30 an ounce earlier this month, but inevitably it pulled back. So what does that mean for the markets? Well, we're going to talk about that. Silver, just in the last 7 days, traded at a high spot price of $28.68. and a low spot price of $27.19. Now these are end of day closing numbers, so intraday, sure, it probably got higher and it also probably got a little lower at certain times depending on what charts you look at, but these are end of day closing prices for the last 7 days. So that ends up being $1.49. So silver's down almost $1.50 from its high point just in the last 7 days, which, you know, on paper doesn't sound like much, but to put it in percentage terms, that's a 5.2% drop. That's very substantial, very substantial. If the stock market went down 5%, it would be headlines everywhere. So what does that mean? Why did it happen? Well, I got that question a lot this past week. Quite honestly, there's a lot of explanations, a lot of reasons that it could be that way, but you know, knowing what the true reason is next to impossible. One of the reasons, inflation. Inflation isn't going away anytime soon. There's fears that there will not be rate cuts in interest rates. So if that does happen, that's not necessarily good news for metals, although it can work both ways sometimes, or can work either way sometimes. What that's going to do to the price of metal, gold and silver both, is inevitably push it down. There's been some massive sell-offs by some of the big holders in physical and paper shares, which has kind of flooded the market, which has kind of pushed spot price down in both gold and silver over the last 7 days. So has that affected customer buying? No, not at all in my shop. In fact, we were as busy as ever this week in the shop. Part of that is because we have a lot of people that pay attention to the markets, and when they see a dip in price, they don't get frustrated that the value of their stack has went down. They see that as an opportunity to pick up more at a cheaper price. So I had a lot of my regulars in and a lot of new people as well coming in the shop this week buying new silver. What were they buying? Well, that's a good question. And if I'd have figured it out ahead of time, I probably would have did a better job of putting it on the tray what people are buying. But mostly lately, people have been buying 90%, you know, call it junk silver, 90% silver, constitutional silver, pre-1965 silver. That is very popular right now because it's the cheapest premium silver that you can buy. And I'll flash some pictures up on the screen of what junk silver is, or 90%, however you want to call it, in case you don't know what it is. But the premiums on that right now are cheaper than they've been in a very long time, putting them cheaper than buying just generic silver rounds and bars. So for those that want silver, want it as cheaply as possible per ounce, 90% silver is a great way to go. And in fact, if you watch my channel, maybe you knew or didn't know, I did have a flash sale for 2 days on 90% US silver this week, and we moved a lot of 90% silver. So I'm excited that a lot of people are picking up on that and, you know, cashing in on an even better deal than normal on that 90% silver, because I think it's important that everybody has some of that in their stack. I also sold a lot of silver rounds this week and silver bars. 5-ounce, 10-ounce bars, 1-ounce silver rounds remain very popular. They're the second cheapest premium in my shop, behind 90% silver. So it's another great option for those people that want 3/9 pure silver bullion. Obviously the 90% is 0.90 pure. So that's why some people shy away from it. But in terms of pure silver, there's easy calculations you can do. For a $1.40 face value of 90% silver coins, there's 1 ounce of pure silver. So boom, there's the math. It makes it pretty easy. But yeah, rounds and bars remain very popular as well. And surprisingly, I did sell quite a few ounces in sovereign silver coins, mostly Canadian maple leafs, British Britannias, Australian kangaroos because of the lower premiums. And surprisingly, near the end of the week, I did sell quite a few silver eagles, although they were impaired silver eagles, which were sold at a cheaper rate. And if you're not following or don't pay too close of attention, premiums on uncirculated American silver eagles are going up. They are getting more expensive on all the bullion sites. My wholesale cost has went up, so I've raised my retail price as well. So American silver eagles, like this, not certified, but like this raw, have went up in price. So, but that's what's been selling in silver this week, despite the down market. And like I said, many people view down markets as an opportunity, and it is kind of tough if you don't view it as that right now to change your mindset. But the fact of the matter is, as silver goes down, that's just an opportunity to buy more at a cheaper rate. So take that for what it's worth. I'm showing here some silver soldiers that I picked up from a wholesaler. These are produced by Ave Metal. They're 3/9 pure. They're a little over an ounce. I had I had 4 different designs, but I'm down to 3. And there are more designs coming too. There's going to be a total of 8 different little green army men, you could say. And these are made out of silver, 3/9 pure, made by Ave Metal. Very cool pieces. They're $65 each. Here's another cool silver piece I picked up. This character is from a video game. I don't remember which one, but I'm going to put it on the screen right now. But it's a main character from a video game. This one was made by the Scorpion Minting. This is 3 1/4 troy ounce, and it's 99.9 fine silver. Very ornate, very well done. It looks like a sand casted piece more than likely. But yeah, if you like this video game character, you might want to own this silver version of it. So next, let's talk about gold. Gold over the last 7 days had not quite as wild of a ride as silver in terms of percents. Although in terms of dollars, gold touched a high for the week of just about $2,390 per ounce, and a low of $2,016 per ounce, which is about a $73 swing, $74, somewhere in there, which is 3.1%. When you hear gold went down $74 from its high the past 7 days, that sounds like a big crash. Well, it's only 3.1%. So that's why that $1.50 silver correction that we saw over the last 7 days is pretty substantial, down over 5%. So leave it down in the comments. During this pullback this week, did you continue to buy precious metal? I know I did. But if you didn't, leave that in the comments as well. I'm just curious on customer behavior in other parts of the country. And as I said, I was as busy as ever this week in the shop. Constant stream of traffic, phone in orders, text orders, email orders. It's been very busy. So there is still a lot of buzz and a lot of interest in metals, which I think is a good thing. One thing about gold that I have noticed a definite change. Not many people are selling back gold right now. When gold first crossed over 2,400 earlier this month, I had a huge influx of people coming into the shop, maybe not every day, but several days a week, 3, 4, maybe even 5 days a week, selling gold back, taking profits. Maybe they paid $1,500 for that gold. Well, if they can get close to $2,400 an ounce, why not take some profits? But I bought a lot of gold in those earlier weeks this month in April. Lately, next to no one is selling back gold, with the exception of gold jewelry. I always buy gold and silver jewelry. Pretty much every day somebody's bringing in something that I buy. But in terms of, gold bars or gold coins, it's been a lot less that has come in across the counter. And I've actually had to source gold on the wholesale network, which I hadn't had to do in a while. So, and the reason I had to source it is people actually wanted to buy it. So despite, these high prices, but having said that, gold did go down $74 this week, the last 7 days. There are a fair amount of people that are still purchasing gold in all sizes. whether it be 1-ounce bars or coins or fractionals with 1/2 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 1/10 ounce. I've been selling quite a few gold grams, 1 gram of gold. I got a steady stream of customers that like to pick up those 1 gram pieces maybe once a week to add to their stack. So things are moving. There's still a lot of velocity in the market, meaning there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of stuff that people are buying. There's a lot of stuff that people continue to sell. But lately, in the last 7 days, I've noticed I've hardly bought back any gold. It's really just been silver bullion that people are choosing to sell lately. So what does that mean for the market going forward? Well, you can listen to all the talking heads. Let's say you tune into 5 of them. Well, you're going to get 5 different opinions on what the future holds. Remember, they are opinions. We are not experts by any means, and even the experts are only giving you their opinions. They're basing their opinions based on information they have about the past. It's impossible to predict the future. Having said that, I'm optimistic. I have always been optimistic, and I was saying I was optimistic about gold and silver when it was $21 an ounce back in October. I said, silver's on sale right now. It's a great value, buy if you have the means. Well, now we're sitting, at 27 and change. We're about 27 and a quarter spot right now is where it closed at today. Had you bought back in October, that's a big gain. That's about a 40% gain in your silver. So do I think it's going to continue to go up? Yeah, I truly do. To what degree? I don't know. When? I don't know. Is it going to go up quickly or be slow growth? I don't know. Honestly, I think it benefits everybody if it continues to go up slowly. When you get big spikes in price upward, typically there's a sharp correction. And that's kind of what we saw over the last couple of weeks here when silver pushed close to $30 an ounce. And then it got beat back down, and now we're barely up over 27. But it's held above that resistance level of $27 an ounce for quite some time. Because of that, I think maybe that price is here to stay for a while. So depending on state of the world affairs, world economies, our own national economy, our own political situation, it's going to impact metals one way or another. And I do believe that outlook is positive on both gold and silver. But people always ask me, and if you've watched my channel, you've heard me say this over and over and over. Well, Josh, what do you buy? Well, lately it's been 90% silver. Okay, 90% silver. As I said, premiums are lower than anything else right now. It's the cheapest silver you can buy. So I'm stacking 90% silver and generic, 1-ounce rounds and bars. Occasionally I might bring home some sovereign coinage like eagles or maple leafs, but I don't like paying the higher premiums. So I'd rather have more ounces for my money. That's just me. There's other people that swear only they will buy silver eagles. They will only buy silver maples, or they will only buy rounds. My problem is I like it all. So I like to have a good mix of everything because I think that's important. If we ever do need to use our silver to do transactions or whatever else, whether it be in a commercial level or just a personal private level, it's going to be good to have some variety in a lot of different sizes. So that's just my take on it. But I appreciate you all tuning in this far. Thanks for listening to me blab about the gold and silver market over the past 7 days. But from where I sit, the market is strong. There's a lot of buyers, a fair amount of sellers as well, but far more buyers than sellers. I'm having to continually order more product through the wholesale channels, which I have absolutely no problem with. Although I do enjoy buying stuff over the counter because you never know what's going to walk in. Like these pieces came in across the counter. These 5-ounce silver. I mean, this is a Silver Town poker chip, basically. This is a 5-ounce silver buffalo round. Wholesale sources on these are slim to none. So when these walk in, I get pretty excited because I don't get to stock them otherwise unless somebody actually walks in and sells them. We got some nicer peace dollars. These look like they've maybe had a dip or two in their life, but they're still nice condition-wise. You can see all the feathers on the eagle's wings. Got some cool vintage silver pieces in, and this are just a couple drops in the bucket. We got a lot of vintage silver on hand in both rounds and bars. And I thought, let's see. Oh yeah, I thought this one was cool too. It's the prospector and his donkey or burro. I don't know what that would be considered, but this is Nevada, the Silver State, minted by Nevada Coin Mart Incorporated. If you're from the state of Nevada, boy, you got to have this bar. no emotional attachment for me living in North Dakota, but boy, if you're from Nevada, that would be a cool piece to have. So, but anyway, yeah, I think the outlook is good. There's going to be pullbacks along the way as metal goes up. You know, to what degree are the upswings or the downturns? It's anybody's guess. But if you have the means and you're a believer in it, consider putting some money into precious metal. Don't put all of your cash into precious metal, but some. I do believe truly everybody should own some. And if you believe the statistics, less than 1% of adults in the US own precious metal. Just think about that. Think of 100 people that you know. Only one of them, statistically, owns precious metal. That's a crazy stat for me to wrap my head around. Of course, who knows if that's accurate? There's no way to verify that or to debunk it. But yeah, not a lot of people own metal. So the more that can hold it in their hands and, learn about it, learn its purpose, learn its true value, I think more and more people are going to want to stack. And that's a great thing for the hobby. The more people that have it in their hands, I believe the better we all are off in terms of humanity. So, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Drop a comment down below if you like this video. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already. And give this video a like, and feel free to share. Share this video to your friends and family. If they're not sure about precious metal or have no clue what it is, share the video with them so they can see some of this stuff. And maybe you yourself can provide them with an explanation and give them an understanding on why it's so important to stack. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Have a great day.